G'day team, how good is this view? I can't believe I'm up at Mullaney and enjoying this magnificent location. And what a great filming location. Yeah, the weather's not been that amazing the last couple of days, but look at this, it's definitely put it on for us today. It's just so good. So I want to talk to you about development projects. And what I mean by development projects, and this might be very similar in the building world when it comes to variations, but in the application development space. So the space that we obviously live and breathe. So from building applications to APIs, mobile apps, web apps, anything that has a change in an organization. It could be going from this field to this field. It could be adding in this bit of automation. When it comes to technology and software, it's all about how can we leverage technology in our business, right? And it sounds amazing, it sounds great, it sounds like it's exactly what we need in our organizations. But what I want to talk about today is very specific around development, scoping, requirements, and changes. Now, why is this a topic to be discussed? Because one of these lost conversations that needs to be had and needs to happen more often and more frequently. Why? Because development scopes are typically not done well, and they're usually very much a mismatch of information to get to the outcome. And people, especially customers that come to us, wonder why their project hasn't worked or why it's 8 months or 12 months or 14 months delayed. It's because you start off with this amazing concept or idea or outcome you're wanting to achieve, but it's just a conversation. There's no real structure and scope to it, right? And so you need to actually have a methodology around this. And the amazing thing with ChatGPT these days is you can get ChatGPT to literally write the entire development scope and specification for you. Why am I telling you this? Not because I'm going to lose a job tomorrow, because I can guarantee the people out there are not actually going to do this themselves, but because you need to. You need to really think about this, and you can utilize technology that you already have access to today. I'm not sure about the free version, but definitely the paid version does extremely well. I've physically been using it myself internally. You write the information as if you're having a conversation. So I'm doing this right now with a few projects where the customer would just literally spitball at you, whether it's in a meeting, whether it's in person, online, face to face. That's what I mean, like physical conversation. You record the conversation. So I did a post on OneNote. If you're in a physical face-to-face conversation, you get your OneNote out, you hit record, or you use voice recorder. I really don't mind. Hit record. Let the conversation go for 35, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever that conversation is. That conversation, try to keep it very focused, right? So dial in, don't start talking about your travels and so forth. It doesn't really matter, but it's good to keep it focused. Record that conversation, take that audio, transcribe that audio using any software that's available. I use OneNote because it's free in 365. Transcribe that conversation, put that into ChatGPT with the prompts that you've already prepared, and say, please turn this conversation into a development scope. This will save your bacon 10 times, 9 times out of 10 times out of 11. Like, it will save your bacon. Because when you grab that developer scope, you're then reviewing exactly what is going to be developed in that application. Whether it's an online app, an integration, development, a piece, connecting systems together, building a mobile app, building a web, it doesn't matter what it is. You're getting the exact details that you need. Now, why is that important? It's not for you. It's not for you, it's not for your business, it's not for the client, it's not for what you're trying to achieve. It is for the developer that you're working with. They want detail and they want exact information. They don't want a conversation. They don't want a 45-minute or an hour. You don't go and record that conversation and send that conversation to the developer. They do not give two shits. They do not care about that conversation. They love developing stuff. And so they want to grab that developer scope and they're building to the exact specifications that is in that scope. If you had some conversation over here and it's not in that scope, it will not get developed. And that's why it is super, super important. Now, you used to need a really good skill set to create developer scopes. Now you got ChatGPT, right? It took every developer scope that ever existed on the planet and it has a really good template for you. Once you've got that developer scope, review it, give it to yourself, give it to your team members, give it to your clients, whatever the scenario might be, and confirm exactly what's in the developer scope, because that's what's being built. Now, the second step to that, if you have access to this, it would be amazing. If you don't, then I would use a freelancer, is turn that into design. So we use Figma to design all our specifications to make sure what is physically going to be built is exactly what you see on your web app or your mobile app. Use Figma, and I say use a creative design person like a freelancer because it does take some creative skill to use it, and create the exact outcome that you're expecting from that developer scope. With a developer scope and a Figma design, if you get that to a developer and they can't build it from the exact specification and deliver it to exactly what you're talking about, then the developer's in the wrong, not you. This is super important, right? 9 times out of 10, the developer's not in the wrong. In any development project, the developer is not in the wrong. It's you, it's the customer. Because you haven't done two crucial things: create a developer scope and create a Figma design. Without those, they're going off a conversation. They can't read your mind. They don't know exactly what's going on up there and going, okay, you kind of mean this, I'm kind of interpreting it to be this. It's just not a thing. Just try to picture that in any other industry that you're in your entire life, and you say one thing and someone thinks it's something else. It's exactly the same process, right? So I just wanted to have this honest, direct conversation around the opportunity you have now to get projects right from the get-go. You have technology, it exists, it doesn't cost you much money. As I said, the free version could also do this. I can't guarantee the results, but the paid version is $20 US a month for ChatGPT. If you can't afford $20 a month for ChatGPT, do not even go to even think about doing a development project. It's like, if you're going to spend 10, 20, 30, 50 grand, 100 grand on a development project, 20 bucks a month will save you bacon. Do that. And my second investment advice is in a creative design to do a Figma display. If it's an integration, different story because you don't physically see anything. I'd use FigJam to actually create the workflow. But for anything you're physically going to see, whether it's a web app or mobile app, create the design, because then you know exactly what the outcome's going to be, and then it's up to the developer to make that happen. Anyway, guys, would love to hear your insights into that, and if you do something else outside of this scope, if there's something else completely that you have found that works for you, these two components work effortlessly for me every single time. But if you find something else that works for you, please let me know. I'm always interested to listen and hear more. Cheers.